guys, we're gonna do something different today.
Yeah.
We asked people to write in topics.
So we can talk about.
Yeah.
And we wrote them down.
We wrote them down. We put them in this hat. We're gonna draw out of this hat.
Oh, Gaetano likes that one.
I saw that on TV.
You saw it, right?
Yes.
They copied it from us then.
So,
Hey, listen, I saw. Are we live?
Yeah, we're
I
live.
want to say live.
We're live.
Okay, so
Live,
Antonio.
directly live.
Okay, live.
Antonio, just put the mic. Put that mic higher.
Put the mic
Okay,
higher.
we can do that.
Well, why
Bello.
don't you say introduce the stuff? Welcome to the one. How many podcast is this one here? The number 10.
354.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
go.
hey guys. By the way, we're live. Welcome to this podcast. It was the last week of the Serie A, and it was very exciting. And what we're going to be saying right now is going to be double exciting because my opinion, for sure, is different from those three guys' opinions. So let's get started. All right.
Let's go. So, like I was just explaining to everybody, we're going to do something different right now. We wrote down a bunch of topics. We asked everybody on Twitter, name a topic that you want to hear us talk about. We're going to write it down in this hat. And the hat is an Inter hat.
Oh boy.
We got to give it to Inter today.
Oh
we
boy.
wrote-
Come on, they made the Champions League. They played great against Lazio.
They played
Deserves
great.
to be-
Oh boy, don't start with that.
Everyone
We'll see.
who wrote in a comment, it is in here.
Who gets the pick first?
You want to pick
I'll
first?
pick
Wait,
first.
wait. He wants to start out with something else, right? You want to start with Inter Lazio first?
Okay,
Yeah,
what do
let's
we-
talk
yeah.
about Lazio Inter.
I have it in here, but when we draw it, it doesn't matter. We'll start it after. Yeah, let's go to Lazio Inter.
Let's talk about the game, no?
Okay. So,
I mean, this was the final game, and they were playing for a shot at the Champions League. So I think that's where we should start.
okay, guys, for anyone who doesn't know, if you've been under a rock, Lazio Inter for the Champions League, Inter somehow pulled it away. Incredibly dramatic match where Lazio was playing fantastic, but in the end, Inter were able to come back and win this one, and they were able to do it. Anyway, if anyone's watching and is asking why everybody's looking at the TV, we also have the Pirlo's last match, which Antonio and Gaetano didn't get to check, so they're watching that also on the side.
We can multitask.
Yeah,
That's no
yeah,
problem.
we
Speak
can
for
walk and
yourselves,
chewing gum
guys.
at the same time. So, what do we want to? What's your opinion about the game?
Okay, I thought it was an excellent game. I mean, it was really a great game. I thought that Lazio played better than Inter. And at the end, even though everybody was very disappointed, Inzaghi was disappointed, the team was disappointed, the Vrij was crying.
Crying.
Yeah.
He was
I think
smiling.
he was smiling underneath. He's going to Champions League.
I think I agree with you. I think it was a positive for the Lazio. I mean, the season was positive. They won the Super Cup against Juventus. They beat Juventus in the championship. They lost in the last second. I mean, I think there were 5 seconds left. They lost against Juventus on the 3 games with Juventus. They won 2 out of 3. They were very close to the semi-final or to go to the final of the
Europa
Cup.
League.
No, to the Cup, to the Italian Cup. They lost in penalty, like after 15 penalties.
Against who? Against AC Milan, right? They lost.
And,
Just say against who?
They went to the quarterfinal of the European League, and if it wasn't for that 10 minutes, I mean, winning 5-2, it could have been a great season. But I think that for Lazio, it was a very good season. You want to talk about?
So, are you trying to say that Inter deserved to win the game, or what?
No, I said that Lazio played better.
Played better, but okay.
Go.
Let me just expand a little bit on what your father said.
Expand. Go ahead.
For me, the first thing that I gotta say is like Spalletti body language is an horror story. Okay, the guy didn't even show up for the press conference. I don't know for what reasons. Maybe he pissed on his pants. I don't know what happened.
I'm sure
But here's my take on the game. Lazio by far outplayed Inter, but I have a criticism to make to Inzaghi. You need a tie and a win. 2 out of the 3 scores. What do? You win it 2-0, and then you keep changing forward for forward and midfielder to midfielder.
No, it wasn't winning 2-0.
It was 2-1.
It was 2-1.
It was 2-1,
Yeah.
15 minutes before the end of
Yeah,
the game.
2-1.
Okay? You needed to take not to really play defense, but at least you need to,
Well, he took Immobile out.
He did.
Yeah, but you put Lukaku.
Lukaku,
You put
yeah.
Lukaku. Come on, it's
And somebody
fit
on the
for that.
side.
Listen,
So somebody said that if you take Immobile out with 15, 20 minutes left on the game, you're giving some kind of message that you're scared and now you want to defend.
no, that was another point. He didn't put a defender on. He put another offensive player.
I
Well,
agree with that,
he's a
but the
fullback.
reason why Immobile came out is because Immobile
was tired.
not fit.
It was not 100%.
He was not fit to play 90 minutes.
But once you do, I do think it might be a psychological.
I think so too.
For me,
I think
it
so.
could have
Somebody-
done something different. It could have just sat Immobile on the first half and then put him on the second half, just to
They were
see.
playing so good. The whole 70 minutes, Lazio were like, wow, incredible. We're talking. Me and Marco were talking. We're like,
Here's
Inter
my
can't come
take.
back.
Here's my take. The reasons why Lazio was on the third place or fourth place because they scored a lot of goals because they play offensively
Yes.
like one of the best team in all
course.
Italy.
It's
So what
true.
happened is their defense though is very it's
Leaky.
very leaky. It's like
Yeah.
a seed. So they took a lot of goals, a lot more goals than other people, than other teams that they are below them. But their offense really did the job for them.
And-
Now, wait, let
Okay.
me finish,
Okay,
Mike.
finish.
What I criticize Inzaghi is this. This is a key game. It's either you win or you out. There are millions of dollars on the table for that thing. Just take a couple of offensive players that they're tired. Only if they're tired. Immobile was taken out because he was tired. Then you put a midfielder at least or somebody that is going to just, clog more the midfield and just make the job of Rafinha or somebody else a lot more miserable than what normally it would be. And for him to change from forward to forward, that was a big mistake. But hey, a lot of luck went into the Inter side this time. Yeah, it's not because of Spalletti changed it. He was the genius. He put this guy in front of a. No, Spalletti got nothing to do with the win of
Come
Inter.
on, you gotta
I'm
give him
telling
credit. You gotta
right
give him
now.
some
I'm
credit.
telling you right now. If you look at it, there were 2 corner kicks, and there was a free kick or whatever that got Inter into the position that they were. And it was a situation play, nothing that was built from the back. The ball arrived to the goal of the 3-2. Vecino, come on.
Guys, let me
And
say something real
I
quick.
want to say something
Go,
extremely quick.
go.
I just want to throw a reminder. Before this game, Lazio played Crotone, and the score was 1-1. If they beat Crotone that weren't playing for anything, this would never be happening. Lazio
Yes.
would be in the Champions League.
I know, but we're
every
discussing-
game counts.
but
Just
we're
saying
discussing
that.
No,
Inter,
Crotone-
Inter
I know, I'm just
Lazio.
saying-
Crotone was playing for.
No, the second to last, I think it was over.
No.
No, it was not over
It's
then.
still there
No,
until
Mike.
now.
No, it
Was
was.
it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
okay,
can
maybe I'm
let me
wrong.
say
Okay,
something
okay.
because there's been some misconception. Some people have said that we are very anti-Lazio.
No, we're not.
And I just want to say that Michael was supporting Lazio. Antonio, you were supporting Lazio.
Absolutely.
I was supporting Inter. I wanted Inter to win.
No,
and
I wanted Lazio to
I
win.
was very happy for Inter to win. So, first of all, Lazio, incredible season. What you said, I completely agree with you. I think that it's not that great season, but it's still an incredible season, and a lot of the way that they played is positives for next year. But while Lazio was playing good, the thought in the back of my mind, because it could have been 3-4-0 at a point for Lazio.
Easy.
It really could have. But the thought in my mind was Inter is going to be able to merit this strength, that they're going to come back and they're going to win this game. I wanted Inter to go through, and this might be a wrong opinion because, maybe it's wrong of me to think this. I just feel like if Inter are in Champions League, they would spend more money. They would be able to compete a little bit because they have a Champions League DNA. I'm very scared that if Lazio got into the Champions League, that they would sell too many players. We already know Vrij is leaving, and their defense is terrible. Milinkovic-Savic is half a foot is already out of Lazio. I'm very scared for these kind of teams that are going to get dismantled and won't be able to compete. So that's why I was rooting for Inter, and I was very satisfied that Inter were able to do this. And I'm happy for Icardi, who was top goal scorer with Ciro Immobile. Without Icardi, they would not be in Champions League. I think Icardi stays. Inter get a few more key players, and this Inter, it's their way up.
We don't know anything. Who's gonna stay? Who's gonna leave?
We don't.
Aside from the Vrij,
Maybe you don't.
which he made a terrible play anyway. But let me just say one more thing. That penalty, if somebody else watches a lot more carefully, I think it was not a penalty. This is only personal, not because I don't like Inter, but if you look at it, when the guy did slide, he didn't slide on he went straight for the ball. Inzaghi, with a fraction of the second, took the ball and just came inside, but the guy did not touch Inzaghi. Inzaghi jumped. I'm sorry, Icardi jumped and he dived. not because he was touched or kicked. I'm telling you.
I think I do agree that it was a little bit soft. I think it was a penalty.
It was
If
contact.
this happened for Juventus, though, it would be on the front newspaper.
For
That's
me,
for sure.
for me
That's
was
for
not
sure.
a penalty.
Guys, look at this Luca Toni goal, by the way.
Inzaghi. Icardi.
You see Inzaghi over here, he scores a few goals, and now you keep saying this.
Icardi got a freebie and Spalletti got a freebie, and that's what turned all the
They
game
completely
upside
deserve
down.
this. Spalletti, the entire season, was very... Watch us. Look at this header. Beautiful. Spalletti deserves so much credit for what he's done. He has helped this team get back into Champions League. Mission accomplished. Yes, it was a little bit difficult, but that's how it goes. It gets difficult when you have incredible teams like Lazio in the Serie A. Credit to Lazio, credit to Inter. I'm very satisfied for the score, and I hope that Lazio use everything that they did and learned, because if you look, there's a lot of games that they lost at the end. This game, which is the most important game, right? They lost it. They were winning. They ended up losing it. Also, in the match where they could have went to the semifinals of the Europa League, same thing. They conceded like 3 goals in 2 minutes against Juventus with Dybala. There's a lot of these times where I think that Lazio, maybe they take their foot off the pedal, and it's a moment for Inzaghi to look back on this time off and say, we need to improve for next season in this. In defense and just making sure we played to the 95th minute instead of just to the 80th.
I want to give you the credit for Lazio, not just to the player. I want to give you the credit to Tare and Lotito. Those two guys, every year they come up with top players unknown to the vast majority of the leagues. And those are players that they wound up just making a huge difference. This Lucas Leiva, he was supposed to be, some sort of a substitute for the guy that was for Biglia. Look what happened with Lucas Leiva. He's unbelievable. What an unbelievable player.
Savic was unbelievable.
Luis Alberto.
Who wasn't even there.
Those are 4 or 5 top players that they can play at a highest level in every team. And then you're telling me this is just what they're capable to do, those guys. Tare, I tell you, I would take Tare on AC Milan.
Just take everybody in AC Milan.
Oh, yeah.
The thing is, Lazio, I do feel so bad for them. I wish there was another Champions League spot for them, because you got to see, they were fighting against an Inter that wasn't in Europe, so they had more on their plate. They had less of money. They had less squad depth, and they still did so much. And Inzaghi's such a great coach. I feel
agree with you.
I want them to go in the Champions League too.
Inter for me was undeserving of the spot on the Champions League.
I disagree with you.
I
Guys,
don't know.
Peter came over yesterday because Peter couldn't come to the podcast today. He had a small message for you, Antonio. So let me show you what he said.
Oh, boy.
Show it them.
We're gonna put it.
Yeah, we're gonna put it on the screen. He also had another video. It's too long to play. It ended up being 5 minutes of some of his thoughts. Maybe we'll throw it in over here.
Antonio, he's basically saying Inter's in Champions League and Milan's not. The right Milan team, I think he said.
That's what he said.
I think so.
That's okay. I'm happy for AC Milan. We beat Fiorentina 5-0. We destroyed them. It will be 6-0 or 6-1, whatever. Look, Cutrone. Oh, hey, talking about Cutrone, this is the guy that is going to wind up playing for Mancini. You watch.
Yeah, he wasn't
If
called
Mancini doesn't call Cutrone in the Italian national team, and he calls Belotti or somebody else, I say, hey, come on.
He's still young,
last thing before we move on, and
we
we
gotta move on.
pick some of the stuff out of the hat. It's a statement, a thing in here. Guys, should De Vrij have been playing? If you're Inzaghi, should De Vrij be playing? For me, before the match, look at that goal from Pipo, by the way. I would never play De Vrij in this match. I don't care who the other defender is. I would never play De Vrij in this match. Whether he did do it on purpose or whether he didn't, I would never play De Vrij.
What is that?
What about you? What do you say?
It's not an easy question, but I think the right if the coach puts him in, then I will go with what the coach decide. I think the coach knows best. He knows the player. I think you're a professional. I mean, he made a mistake on that. That was a penalty, but Icardi was so smart. Because he had the space and the room on the right side, but what he did is he came back inside, and the right, we made such a bad mistake. I mean, you never inside the area. You never slide on your ass inside the area. That's what they teach you when you play soccer. Inside the area, never slide and get on your ass, because bad things are gonna happen. So,
but psychologically, don't you think there's something that you can't even control?
Right, but they said that it's not only the right psychological. I think every player that played that game, he's got some kind of psychological, going into the game. Everybody's got their own. What I do not agree is that before the season is over, which team you're gonna go for.
That's bad.
You wait until the season is over and then you make a decision.
I agree.
Because in this guy, let's give the benefit of the doubt. Let's say that he did make a mistake.
Yeah.
And it was a penalty. How you gonna feel after that you played in front of your fans for the last game, and that's how they're gonna remember you. They're going to remember you of this penalty. So your career with Lazio is going to be remembered. Oh, you did. So it's been put in such a difficult situation. But you're a professional. You're supposed to play and you're supposed to do well.
Anto,
I agree with you.
Wait. What were you going to say? What were we going to finish?
No, but I see your point.
I'll tell you what. I totally disagree with the fact that I agree with your father, with you, Gaetano, about that transfer. There should never be an issue until the championship is over. Then you do the transfer. Number one. Number two. Again, I challenge anyone in this room here to find me the exact reasoning that the penalty was a clean penalty. I'm saying again one more time, and you're gonna see it. Show me one video, one clip that this guy touched Icardi. Icardi was not even touched 100%. The guy did not touch Icardi. Icardi just jumped. Okay, the guy went clean on the ball. The ball went away from him because Icardi was fast enough, because he faked down the right and he moved the ball to the middle. But as far as touching him, I don't think he touched him.
We could check it again, but I thought it was a penalty.
I don't think he touched him.
Play him, yes or no?
Yeah,
I know what you said.
Listen, I play him. If he was playing Inzaghi, obviously talk to him one-on-one. He's a professional at the end of the day. Lazio gave him his position, gave him everything right now. He's obviously going to want to give the 100% before he leaves.
Are you, though?
What do you? That was my action. Listen,
you either choose to go to Europa League or you choose to go to Champions League.
Icardi is a smart striker. If you give him a little contact, he knows whether.
We're not doubting that, guys. Look what was put up. The Vrij walking into Inter's locker room after the match. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's not the Vrij. It's a joke.
I will not let him come out of the stadium alive.
It's a joke. It's a joke. Steven Zhang, Inter's VP too. He was crying after the match, very happy. I don't know if he was adding up, the Champions League dollars, or he was just happy.
That's
for
all
his
it's
team.
all about. It. That's just the money.
It was beautiful to see. Even the Inter club of UAE, they also sent us in there cheering, and Inter, all the fans meeting them at the airport. It's a beautiful moment for a club who's been. But
what about Spalletti? Why
Spalletti
is not coming to the press conference? What was he doing all that ranting?
Yeah, I know he did it.
Over there?
He was
You're
partying.
right.
He ran out.
Guys, let's go. Who wants to pick out the first one?
All right, let me start from
Go,
here.
go.
We do clockwise.
Go. Don't pick out 8 of them, though. Pick out 1.
So what is this like?
Just read it to the crowd.
To the crowd. Oh, man.
Take out those glasses.
What? Don't.
What team player most surprised? What the hell? You guys don't even know how to write?
We're in the studio too long. We forgot.
Can you type it the next time?
Can you type it up?
What team / player were you most surprised with?
It doesn't say.
Who do you think
were
wrote
you
it?
most surprised? Give me the thing. I will show it live on the podcast. Guys, English.
It's written in Greek, I think. Okay, they got it.
All right.
We got it. We got
Give me this.
So, can you restate or rephrase?
Guys, what team or player were you most surprised with?
AC Milan. AC Milan.
In a
In a
bad
bad
way
way.
or a good way?
In a good way.
Good way. You spent 250 million in the summer and you're surprised?
250 million.
What?
We were in bad shape. We were in bad shape when Montella left, and Gattuso surprised me. It surprised a lot of people.
Antonio, 200 million from last season and still in the same position.
Well, no, we're not in the
No,
same
it is.
position.
Sixth position.
It's okay. We're not doing the preliminary. We are straight into the UEFA
Well, you still
league.
gotta qualify.
yeah. I think it's one round. You saw.
Just one round.
Yeah,
So even worse than last season.
No.
Dad, anyone you were surprised with?
I think that Napoli, I like the way Napoli played. They were on top of the championship for a lot of the season. They played a very good soccer. So I think that Sarri did very well. And the player that surprised me was Immobile. I didn't think Immobile could score. He scored almost 30 goals. So
I think you made a good point. I was gonna say Lazio as the team that surprised me with how well they played. Immobile definitely, Milinkovic-Savic, a lot of those Lazio players. I would agree.
To me,
I'll go
Lazio,
with you.
no.
Even Napoli.
To me, Lazio, Napoli had a good.
You already said Milan.
I know, but Milan, because I know you know that in case Gattuso,
Okay.
in case Gattuso is watching.
your is over. You already said
but,
what you.
I agree with the Lazio. I love the way Lazio played.
I definitely think Roma. They got a new coach. They got players that left. Salah's, he's a world-class player now.
And Manolas,
In the
I guess.
Champions League, we already know that's a given, Antonio. I don't need to mention that. In the Champions League, they did amazing.
That's a good point.
And just their social media game is so good. Next season, I think they're gonna do some great stuff.
Should we vote on the
On what?
team?
On what team?
On the team that he said, Milan. What vote would you give him for the season?
Oh yeah, we have that as a
I will give him
Because that was his
8.
team.
I would
You
give an
him
thing.
eight.
But an 8.
Out of what, 100?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even give Roma
8
an
out
8.
of 10. 8 out of 10.
What did they
8
do?
out of 10.
No, 8 out of 10.
That's what I said.
What
Their objective was the Champions League.
Antonio, what did they do? They put 200 million down the drain.
Listen. The
All right,
objective
well,
of
that's
the
his
Champions
point.
League,
They
we
gotta
left.
say
Go.
something. How was
Yeah,
that?
I
I
would- we
would, I
gotta
would
move on.
give Napoli. I would give 8.
Wait, what would you give Milan?
No, that's his team.
That's
Let
my
him
team.
have a- I'll give. I said Napoli. I'll give him 8.
I would give
Napoli.
Lazio. I would give Lazio an 8.
Wait, what are we're doing teams?
You-
Roma?
Whatever team. Yeah,
Roma,
whatever team.
Roma, I give them a solid A. I'll give them an 8 too. They did
Go,
good.
go, pick. What are you laughing at? Wait.
Whoa, what's going on? No corruption over here,
This is in,
Cassano.
I hope it's in English too.
Oh shoot.
Oh boy. You need my glasses?
Will Parma have a chance next season? Are we talking Serie B now?
We're talking Serie B.
Serie A. Parma is in Serie A.
Now they're in
Yeah,
Serie
Serie
A.
A.
Who knows Parma? I never saw them play.
Well, Parma officially, they're brought back into the Serie A. They have an incredible story, an incredible history, and their captain. He stayed with them for such a long time. He Lucarelli gave an incredible speech where he said, we need to go out there and we need to fight. And I was happy for Parma. Can Parma stay next season? I know we haven't watched them too much.
That's a tough
But
one.
given the competition, given that Parma has the DNA.
Historical
they're
European
the first,
club.
They are the first Italian team in history to have back-to-back-to-back promotions. Every single year they were promoted. Serie D, Serie C, Serie B, and Serie A.
Wow.
No Italian team has ever done something like that.
Well, it's a big market for soccer. Parma. Parma. Don't forget that it was on the
Top of the world.
UEFA
Yeah.
league when Crespo used to play for them.
Yep.
He
had
a lot of-
Buffon,
Buffon
too.
played for Parma. We had a lot of players, top players coming from Parma. Even though
Cannavaro was in
Cannavaro.
Parma.
Cannavaro,
that's
so
right.
I wish Parma to do well because it's one of the teams that. And the market, and I'm sure the sponsor is going to be Parmigiano Reggiano or whatever.
That'd be clever, right?
I hope Parma does well.
That was just a little way for us to give some light to Parma. That was a question that was sent in. All right. Next one.
Uh-oh.
Juventus.
Of course,
Juventus.
Marco picks it. He knew which one he was
look at
picking.
that.
Look at
I
this
didn't
guy.
know which one.
Oh, jeez.
Juventus this season. I'll start off. An incredible achievement that no one in the history of Italian football has ever been able to achieve. 7 in a row, each one harder than the next. And especially this season, 95 points. It's the third highest point ratio ever in the Serie A since switching over to 20 teams. And I think that they're, I don't want to say not given enough credit, but it's even gone a little like it should be that they always win. And I think winning is something that takes a lot of effort. It's built through your foundation. So for some Juventus fans who always say Champions League is the objective, of course Champions League is the objective, but you need to realize how hard it is to win the Scudetto, especially with an incredible Napoli side. And they continue to prove that they're building off a foundation that is so rock solid from the bottom. Well, I mean, we were talking about it even the other day with, Milan, you win 3 in a row. Inter, they won 5 in a row, but no one was ever to keep going. So I think that Juventus deserves so much credit for what they did this season.
Of course, when you have billions of dollars to spend, sure.
We didn't always have billions.
I give Juventus a 9 because of what they did in Champions League. With a little bit more in Champions League, they would have deserved 10 in the Italian league, 9 in the European league. So something about Juventus and Allegri and the comparison between Allegri and Sarri. When Juventus plays, it's not always spectacular, but Allegri does not care. He cares about the results. But what Allegri does very well is he's got the players, and his players will determine what tactics he uses. So he went from a 4-2-3-1 to a 4-5-1 to a 3-5-2 to a 4-3-2-1. So, and during the season, he did that. Sarri, he's got the system. That's his system. So he will get a player to play in that system. That's the big difference between Sarri and Allegri. What can you say about Juventus? They keep beating one record after the record. They're in the history. That's it. I'm done.
Antonio, keep this quick because I know how you like to rant about Juventus.
Juventus is nobody was expecting Juventus not to win the Campionato. I mean, it was a given already. I mean, even when they were trailing, I said it. How many times did I say it?
You did.
In the past, I said,
give them a number 2.
I give them an 8.
So you give Juventus and you give Milan the same rating.
Yeah, because we we don't have the same background and rock foundation that you guys have. But I give the credit to Gattuso and the effort that he put on the team.
Then you should have said after Gattuso got there. I think that after Gattuso got there, they would have made the Champions League.
Yeah.
Mike, Juventus.
Juve, I give them an 8. Their main objective was Champions League. They were close. They didn't get it, but they did good in the Scudetto. They have a great foundation, and I think they're going to try again next
year. 9.5 out of 10 is the score to give Juventus.
How can you give an 8?
9.5.
The history.
I know, I agree.
7 Champions.
He's a hater.
I'm not.
He's a hater.
Why am I a hater?
You are a hater.
Are you kidding
Juventus
me?
do 7 in a row. You give them an 8.
Gaetano, but you got to put into perspective that the Serie isn't the same what it was earlier on.
Why can somebody?
That's a very good rating.
That's what they've always
Why
said.
am I being attacked
An
for a
8.
good 8? I gave
you gave Roma an
Very
8.
good.
And Juventus won 7 in a row.
We're talking about perspectives
that's
over
what he says.
here.
That's what he
Somebody
says.
else do 7
That's what he
in a row.
says.
I feel
That's what he
attacked
says.
over here.
Okay, go.
Wait, why don't you give somebody else the same amount of money that Juventus has? And then
What do you mean? Earn the money. We earned the money. We're in Serie B a few years ago.
Bullshit. You
Yeah,
heard the
it's
money.
Because I'm Greek, right?
No.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Let's start with Sarri. Sarri's a great coach, but it's not a great coach, but it's not a great bench manager. Okay, so I think the reasons why Napoli didn't achieve the highest mark on the season, it was Sarri's mismanagement of the bench.
I think Sarri is a very, very good coach. I think he did an excellent job with Napoli. The thing that and I saw his interview after the game, and he said that he reached the highest point of his career with the fans from Napoli. I mean, there was a very good relationship with the fans, and at the end of the game, he went around the stadium, and there was a standing ovation, and people were really very, very happy to have him as a coach. And the way he sounded was like maybe this is it sounded like a goodbye. I've reached the highest point of and this love relationship that I have with the fans. How can I go higher? Can I go higher? So I think.
You think he's gonna go?
I think he's gonna go.
He even said he said it's better to end things while they're beautiful than to keep them until they become ugly.
Gaetano, what's your
Right.
rating too?
And he said that he will not coach an Italian team.
Yeah.
If he leaves, he will not coach an Italian team.
And there's a lot of rumors that Chelsea have made him an offer and Zenit, but he doesn't want to go to Zenit. He would want Chelsea's offer.
8 for Sarri.
I'll give him a 9.
I would give him a 9 too. I think that Sarri's an incredible coach. I think that he's got this vision and this football that's beautiful to watch in Italy. I think that he's culpable, of course, for what happened. As a leader, you have to take responsibility. But he's also the first team ever to get 90 points and not win the Scudetto. To me, it's not just about Sarri. It's not just about Napoli. It's also about this incredible Juventus. And not only does Napoli have to be incredible, which they were. Napoli were incredible. They weren't the extra push of incredible, which is sometimes that slight difference, which is, 4 points that they ended up
4
doing?
points,
Whatever the difference was. So Sarri, 9 out of 10. Thank you for being in Italy. And I wish him the best wherever he goes. I do think maybe it's time. I mean, I don't think that he has to leave, but he also said, he's like, listen, we got a lot of players on release clauses.
He has to go,
We have
I
a
think.
lot of players who are wanted by big clubs. He said, I don't think we could keep this whole team together. Mike, rating for Sarri.
I give him an 8. I feel like he was a great coach, but he was held back a little bit by your stubbornness and stuff. And I feel like he took a lot of he spread a lot of the blame. He didn't take it as what a responsible coach does.
I think he could have changed a little bit, but at the end of the day,
He was a good coach.
he was very, very
Yeah.
good coach.
There we go.
Oh, no. You got
Oh,
another one
no.
that's ran now.
Cassano
That's it.
No way.
in Pirlo's match. I didn't watch it, so but Cassano, I don't have to watch it. Cassano is a superstar. He's the superstar. Okay, Cassano can play soccer without even looking. Even if
How's
he's
that
blind.
possible?
Even if he's blind, you put him a bandage on his head, on his face. The guy can still play soccer.
Wow.
You
And
wanna-
just go through anybody.
So
Okay.
you saw what Cassano did. The goals he played. I have to admit, I was telling you guys when you walked
You
in.
have to admit why. What's there?
He
not
wants
for
to
me?
get signed
Listen,
for a club. That's
listen.
why he's playing
Cassano.
good.
Cassano was probably the best player on the pitch tonight for the Pirlo's farewell. But he's also the only one who's looking for a job. So
Listen,
it's not a bad
looking
thing.
for a job. What are you kidding me? What are you kidding me?
It's hilarious that you got the Cassano. That you opened the Cassano
It
one.
is.
And you got
guys.
Juventus.
And I got Juventus.
Go ahead, pick up.
Wait. I got something else. So this thing went viral. This picture went viral of this guy in, I don't remember where he was. We'll just say Argentina. He's holding a sign and he says, Messi, if you give me your shirt, I'll give you my wife. So look what somebody made a thing of you.
Holy cow.
They crossed out Messi. They put Cassano. And then they put Antonio Zanaga.
Oh, no. Cassano will not do that. Cassano doesn't trade it.
It's a joke.
Oh, no.
He say, if you give me your shirt, I'll give you your wife.
And you put me down there?
Yeah.
Wait a moment. Not happening. Not happening.
Really?
No.
I feel like you would sell.
Cassano is a gentleman to begin with.
I feel like
But
you
I'm saying, if
sell your
Cassano
kids
said
for-
yes, sell your wife, would you do it?
No.
Maybe.
My wife is my wife. Cassano is Cassano. My wife doesn't play soccer. Doesn't even know who he is.
No, I don't believe that.
Yes, she doesn't.
So you want to hear what's even funnier?
Yeah.
Cassano's wife liked this picture.
Yeah?
That's true.
Oh,
and we
yeah.
didn't even tag her or anything. She just saw.
She literally liked this picture.
Go ahead.
So,
Next.
funny.
so maybe show them. He knows
Oh
you're
my
alive.
God, that's hilarious.
Cassano knows you exist.
That's hilarious.
What do we got, Gaetano? Go on.
Buffon retiring.
Ooh,
Thank
this
the
is-
Lord.
This is a
Well,
touchy one. This is a touchy
First
one.
of all, Buffon.
It's
What?
not retiring. It's not retiring.
First of all, Buffon. The commemoration that they had, his final match was beautiful.
Yeah, it was nice.
You don't get these kind of emotions from many players. The way that the match stops, everything stops for Buffon. For 40 years old, still playing at the highest of level. Buffon is an example not only on the pitch of how to be the best goalkeeper in the history of the sport, but also how to be a great man, how to compose yourself, how to always act with class, and how to respect your opposition 99.9% of the time, we'll say. But Buffon, an incredible example. What he did staying with Juventus in Serie B. His sister came out today, said she was with him the moment that they heard Juventus going to Serie B. And she said, what team you're going to go to? Remember, this is a world champion. A guy who nearly won the Ballon d'Or between him and Cannavaro. And he said, I'm going with Juventus in Serie B without stuttering. This is a man with class. And Juventus owe everything to Buffon. And I'm very sad with the way that they're departing right now.
Hey, listen, I don't understand why Buffon is not going to be deserving a game like a Pirlo, is deserving.
It's not done yet.
So it's not done. So it's not actually retiring.
We're
He's
not
retiring from
100%
Juventus.
Not 100% sure.
All right, so
We thought it was ridiculous, but Gazzetta, Sky, La Stampa, Corriere del Sport are all saying that PSG have offered Buffon an
2 years, right?
2-year contract worth 8 million euros for the combined 2 years, 4 million a season, plus an ambassador role in the Qatar World Cup in 2022 to play for PSG, and that he might be signing his contract as soon as this week.
Now, before you guys answer that, I want to...
Wait. Let them answer.
You want to talk about that first?
Hey, listen, it's up to him. I mean, he knows what he has left. I mean, if he's got some juice left on his legs, on his and on his, he has to be on his head too. I don't think he's ready to hang the gloves on, or put the gloves on the shelf yet, though. So I think he's gonna go.
On the interview, and they just interview him now again, and he said, I need a week away from soccer to be home and to think rationally what my future is going to be. I think if he wanted to retire, he would have said it already. Listen, this is my last game. I'm retiring, and that was it. I saw also the interview with Agnelli, and Agnelli offered him a job outside of soccer. So if he wants to be a manager with Juventus, he also has a job there. I'm sure he has a job with the national team if he wants that. But he's going to let us know by the end of the week. I think he's going to play. It's a shame that if it's going to play, Juventus should have given him 1 more year and say, listen, here, sign for 1 more year. You're part of the team. You don't have to play every game. You let Szczesny or Szczesny, whatever his name is.
But listen, Gaetano, I disagree with you.
And let
I highly disagree.
I think they're going to buy another goalkeeper.
Penin, probably.
Maybe.
Listen,
So
I highly disagree. This is the reasons why. I think Buffon, all he's waiting to do is just talk to his wife. His wife contract is over with Sky or whatever gig she has on the TV,
Sky.
and she's willing to move to France. I think he's going to go to PSG. Or if she wants to come to New York, maybe she'll come to the
Why do you completely
MLS.
disagree? That's what he said.
No, he forgot. Your father said that he's going to take a week. I think he already knows what he wants to do, Gaetano. And I don't think it's right for Juventus to keep Buffon past his 40. When you already announced that you're going to be leaving at the end of the season, you made that decision. You just have to let go.
But he's saying it shouldn't have gone to that point. Is what?
Why?
He
No,
probably means.
I don't think so. I think Buffon was done 2 years ago.
It's a
It was
complete
done 2
shame
years
from
ago.
to me from as a Juventus fan and Buffon fan with the way Agnelli handled. I say Agnelli is 99%, 95% great. Every decision he makes, it seems almost too perfect. But the way he's handled the Del Piero goodbye and the Buffon goodbye is a disgrace. Del Piero, he announces in a shareholders meeting without Del Piero even there. You don't do that. Number 2, Buffon clearly wants to play. For what Buffon has given to Juventus, to stay in Serie B, and this guy, a champion, tells you, I want to play another year. I want to play another 2 years. You don't even think about it. Buffon knows more than he does. So for Agnelli, and even the way that he has to announce it before Buffon gets to say it in the press conference, Agnelli, Szczesny's going to be our starting goalkeeper for next season. I don't like it. I don't like Agnelli, amazing, but on this, he is wrong.
But was he made the offer to say 1 more year, yes or not?
Say it again?
Was Agnelli ever offered by Buffon to 1
Apparently
year?
not. According to the reports, Agnelli and Juventus wanted to separate with Buffon, which is mad. Buffon, I said this before. I said this for years. He's got another 2 to 3 years inside.
Listen,
2 to 3 years.
Do you guys think if
At a high level. And Buffon's bad is still the best in the world.
Okay, I don't know about 3.
No, one more point. One more point. Because you think I'm a biased fan.
Marco's getting heated up right now when he's talking about Buffon.
Number one, I'm a
How
biased.
many Red Bulls you had?
Number 1, I'm a biased fan. That's 100% true.
Okay.
Number 2, when Del Piero and Juventus separated themselves, it was the time to go. Del Piero could not play anymore. He was coming off the bench. It was like, you know, that dog that's, you know, there. You loved him, but he couldn't give anything to Juventus anymore, Del Piero, unfortunately. It was bad how it went, but it was time to move on. With Buffon, it is not, because Buffon is still an asset to Juventus, and there's still no goalkeeper that can replace
Marco,
him.
the wear and tear on the goalkeeper is not the same wear and tear that you have on other players. Because,
I agree.
So I think Buffon, he lost a step.
He did lose a step.
Yeah,
and it's still 4 steps ahead of every other goalkeeper.
But if Juventus wants to compete on the Champions League, I think you need a goalkeeper that is...
okay, but he doesn't have to play the Champions League.
So why are you keeping him if you're not going to play?
He wants to play.
I keep him in the Champions League. I'm going to keep him. What are you going to put Chesney ahead of Buffon?
You got 3 or 4 things that you're playing for. You got 4 objectives, 3 objectives. You got the Coppa Italia. You got the... most of the goalkeepers, they play for the Coppa Italia. The ones that don't play on Sundays, they play the Coppa Italia. He could have done something like that. You know, he could have, just to make him, if the guy still wants to play and he thinks that he's good enough, why not? If he's not good enough, then you take him out.
Now we're going to start some fire over here.
If he sees that he cannot do it anymore,
Wait. Michael's got a point to make.
No, I don't want to. I just want to hear your question. Listen, Buffon's. I wish Juve could give Buffon another year on his contract, but it looks like it's not happening. It looks like Agnelli does not want him in the plans for some strange reason, whatever. Do you think it's worth it for Buffon to leave to another top European club? And do you think it will tarnish his legacy at all for a Juve hero?
Absolutely not.
How come?
How come? Because
if he retires at PSG rather than Juventus, you don't think that bothers it a little bit?
No.
He goes to another top European, not China
because
or anything.
he left Juventus in good term. He retired from Juventus because the management didn't want to sign him for an extension.
So is 1 year worth it or 2 years to throw away all the time?
It has nothing to do with the time. He has something to do with him that maybe wants to prove himself. That I said, hey, I still have it within me. And maybe, you know what will be the worst case scenario? Buffon going win the Champions League with PSG or with another team that might...
That's shame on Juventus.
Be signing.
That's not shame on Buffon.
That's true.
Well,
That's what I'm saying.
Look, I hate the targeting.
It's not a shame on Buffon. I agree with you. It's a shame on Juventus.
You're targeting of Buffon. We've had this argument for the past week. We've had this argument.
It would be more of a shame on Juventus than on Buffon. Buffon is living in good terms.
Exactly. It does not tarnish. If anything,
would Buffon be happy though?
If anything,
if he wins with PSG?
Yes, because he wants to move to PSG.
Absolutely.
You move to a club, you want to win everything.
Absolutely.
If anything, it adds to Buffon's legacy.
Absolutely.
What does it say about a champion that at 40 years old, playing your entire life at one of the best clubs in the world, Juventus, you move on at 40 years old to play for another one of the greatest clubs that's going to play in the Champions League? That says what a mentality you have.
We already know he's a top goalkeeper.
But it's not about you or me.
He already said it in Serie B with Juventus. Why would he retire in France?
Because he wants to keep playing. And a champion.
I
disagree with you. I think it tarnishes more if you go to MLS or China, because there you're going for the money.
That is garbage. Listen, I would really admit it.
Listen. Buffon is loyal to the sport. The essence of football is to play at the highest level ever. That is extreme. It's selfish what I hear from you, what I hear from Juventus fans, that they don't want him to go here because of this. He's given everything to you. The least you could do is this: blame Juventus. Do not blame Buffon.
I don't think it has to be that. Look, there is no blame to be placed to anybody over here. Juventus has made a decision, a business decision, and a management decision, and a sport decision. They believe on their head that Buffon doesn't have. It's not Buffon that they had 3 or 4 years ago. So for them, they departed with Buffon not on a bad term. I said, hey, Gigi, thank you so much. We won everything with you. It's time for us to move on, and we are thinking about A, B, C, and D. Buffon is not living as a disgraced player. He's still living like one of the top players.
Yeah.
And for him to go to PSG, let's say he goes to PSG, I would say it is a great thing. I mean, if he really has it within himself and he has the juice, let's do it, because the guy's not going to be playing with stupid people. He's going to be playing with Verratti. He's going to be playing with Neymar. He's going to be playing with the top of the line players. And if he winds up winning, you know, I tip my hat to him. I will tip my hat to him.
Gaetano, is it worth it for him to go 2 more seasons when he could have retired to Juve, go to another European club?
I think with Juventus, the management and the organization makes the decision for you. They did it with Del Piero at the beginning of the season, which was, I don't understand why you did it at the beginning of the season. They said Del Piero will retire.
In like September or October.
Why don't you wait until the end of the season? So with Juventus, the organization makes the decision, and Agnelli is the front man, and he has to be first on everything, not the players. He has to be first, and he will make that decision. It's not a team like Roma where they talk to Totti and then they say, "Oh, okay, what do you want to do? You know, you want to play another year, or you want to retire?" You know, they made that kind of a deal. It's a totally different approach on why they did, even though the Totti was not handled the right way, even there. But with Buffon, if the guy, it's always better to retire when you're at the highest. And right now he's at the highest.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's one thing that Pelé said. You know, when you retire, you have to retire at your highest. Now when, you know, you go and then people, they say, okay, we don't want you anymore. And this is something that he knows maybe better than anybody else. If he thinks that he could play for another year, hey, why not? Play for another year. But that's the only decision, that's his decision. He has to make that decision.
Hey, imagine, to finish this topic, because it's an important topic, you know. Imagine if you, Marco, if you are, put yourself on Buffon's, I mean, on his head, okay? So
I think I have. That's why I see it this way.
Tell yourself, I say, you know what? Everybody's telling, they think that I'm done. I'm going to show all of you what I'm still,
and
what
himself.
I still have it.
And himself.
So it's a big challenge for him
to,
you know, for him as a person, for him as a goalkeeper,
I agree.
and for him as an athlete.
It's a winner.
This is a win-win situation for him.
I agree.
Unless he has a disastrous season with a team that he goes in.
Before we finish, I'd just be like, if I'm Buffon, I'd be like, listen, I don't have to prove anyone. I'm the best goalkeeper. I wouldn't throw away 2 years at France when I could just retire at the club I love, become a club legend, and just retire with my
Mike, if he still has it.
So he knows that. Why does he have to prove it to anyone else but himself?
Guys,
maybe he doesn't want to be home.
I got Napoli, but I feel like we already talked about Napoli already, right?
Yeah.
So we'll get rid of that one.
Oh boy. Don't throw out Milan.
What are you going to do if I do that?
Mark, you picked like 3 over there. What's going on there? We got some match fixing or something.
Okay, this is a good one. What players do Inter need to compete in the Champions League next season?
This is a good one.
One player.
What players?
Oh, players.
Ooh.
Be realistic. I talked to Peter. Let me give Peter's side. Peter already told me. This guy's got the map in his head. He wants Verratti. That's a player. I agree with him that the midfield needs work. They're getting Asamoah. They're getting Vrij. They're getting the Argentinian Lautaro Martinez, who's apparently very good. I'm just saying. And Peter said he would like Perisic maybe to go have a good World Cup, get a good money for him, get someone like Felipe Anderson and Verratti inside the midfield. And he said another player for the midfield, but I don't remember who he said. Anyway, that's what Peter said. Sounds good, but I don't think Verratti is going to be possible.
But you know what? I have changed my mind about Verratti since the World Cup. I thought that this guy was the natural erede of Pirlo, but he's not. You know, the guys, he gets injured all the time. Number one, number two, it's not a regista. It's like somebody that does all of this geometric movement.
But who should the Inter get?
I don't think Verratti is a player that Inter will benefit from.
Who should they get?
What do they need?
Or what do they need?
A player, an idea.
We don't have spectacular midfielders that they are the playmakers in Italy. I mean, I cannot really see. It's either you develop somebody, or I don't think you can fish in Italy. I mean,
can Inter do anything in the Champions League next season?
Inter.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. With Vrij, Asamoah, and then
Argentinian guy.
Lautaro.
I don't know the other guy. I mean, I haven't seen him playing, but they don't need a lot of players. Inter Milan. I think they need to do something on the defensive side over there, because there are a couple shaking defenders.
In the fullbacks, you mean, right?
The
like
fullback,
D'Ambrosio, maybe.
D'Ambrosio.
And Cantareva, send him back to wherever he came from.
Santon never gets to play anyway. Don't put him on the equation.
He played against Juventus, right? Dad, you have any...
Okay, I think that
they have Rafinha. Don't forget that
Spalletti
Rafinha.
did a very good job. Okay, they did a very good job on the defense. So the goalie is very good. The 4 defenders are very good, and he did a very good job with these 2 players here, which is Brozovic and Gagliardini or Vicino. So I think up to here, okay, you got 7 players. These 7 players are very good.
I disagree.
So now you need something from here up. The way they play with Perisic on one side, Candreva on the other side, is very You go down the line, cross the ball. They need to change. That's what they need to change.
I don't think that their fullbacks are very good. I think that their center midfield is weak. I do agree with you that Perisic and Candreva, every goal that Inter scores this season, it only comes from Icardi or Perisic. When you go to Champions League, they're going to be fighting in 3 fronts. You need guys who could help change a match. I think Felipe Anderson could be an interesting player. Or a player like that could beat his man, that could do something other than Candreva, who goes down the line, like you said, and cross the ball. And even for Perisic, for me, is not that good of a player. He's not that good anymore.
First of all, they gotta buy Rafinha because he had a very good season.
He's very predictable on his.
Asamoah is gonna do good there. They gotta do something.
Asamoah is very good
in the Regista role. I definitely agree. They gotta get another winger or two. Depends if Perisic because Candreva does not cut it.
I think Candreva needs to be.
Any name that comes to your mind?
Reassigned in a different location, different position.
I don't know.
I don't see.
A lot's going to depend on the World Cup too. Peter was saying that Verratti's price tag goes down because he's not in the World Cup.
If anything, Verratti will not go to Inter. Will go to Juventus. Believe me.
He is a Juventus fan. He grew up a Juventus.
Guys, I got AC Milan. I think Antonio slipped it under the table.
Try that.
Give it to me. You got AC Milan. Okay, all right. Listen. All the
wait. You gave your votes. We give our votes. Okay. Michael, what's your rating?
Oh, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna give them. After Gattuso or overall?
Overall, the season.
I'll give them a 6.
They get a 5.5 out of 10.
Gattuso's
5.
Up.
You guys are all screwed up. Listen. AC Milan with the no names players. He achieved
Bonucci.
200 million.
Your Bonucci.
What else?
What happened to your Bonucci?
What else?
You said no name. Romagnoli. Donnarumma. Suso.
Yeah, but those are not names that they command a lot of history and respect. And
neither do Lazio's or Inter's, but
I
they did
tell
better.
you, my 8 for AC Milan. It's a solid 8. It's a solid 8, and I'll tell you the reasons why.
Bro, tell us the reasons why.
We got Çalhanoğlu. People, nobody knew what this guy here will have brought into AC Milan. We got Çalhanoğlu. We got Cutrone. We got those with the 3 or 4 players that are going to be fed into the Italian national team. We have Calabria. We have a lot of players that all youth.
Locatelli.
Conti that he hasn't played at all.
Yeah.
We have a lot of youth that.
But that doesn't change giving them an 8 out of 10.
Why?
Yeah.
We're not talking about next season.
Milan did not.
The objective was the Champions League.
It doesn't matter.
You didn't make it.
Well, so what?
At the beginning of the season, you said that AC Milan was going to win the season. You said they were going to win the championship. So how you justify that?
Listen. Don't change subject over here.
They're not even in the
Don't
top
change
7.
subject. Listen to
They are
this.
top 7.
No, they're the top 7, right?
me.
They're number 6.
Same exact place as last
6.
season.
Okay. So
After 200 million.
Listen, AC Milan on a one-on-one on the scontro diretto. Listen to me, AC Milan on the scontro diretto with Juventus, even though we lost, and with Inter, and with Roma, and with Lazio, and with Napoli, we did not look like we were a second division team or just a much of a lesser team to a lot of those players.
We're talking about the whole season right
the whole
now.
season.
You're not talking about one game.
You cannot really say this. Listen, just judge the whole season of AC Milan when the coach is the same one from the beginning to the end.
So you give him 8.
Gattuso, 8, yes,
I
it's
give
a
him
solid
a
8.
5.
Oh, you keep your
5
You're
and a
just
half.
too much of a partisan guy. Your 5 doesn't mean anything anyway.
Let me ask you a quick question.
Yeah, go
quick
ahead.
question. Can I ask him a quick
Yeah,
Of course.
question.
Donnarumma, what vote would you give him to Donnarumma?
Donnarumma would give him a 7.
A 7.
You know how much money he's getting paid?
It doesn't matter.
Gigio or Antonio?
Yeah, it's a 7 for me because he got himself a little bit too he made himself to be conditioned by a lot of those external factors that have nothing to do with soccer. Raiola is one of them. The public is one of them.
But he makes the choice to have Raiola. Everyone says Raiola does this to Donnarumma. Donnarumma says, Raiola, you be my agent.
He could have shut him down from the very beginning, but he didn't do it. He didn't do it.
He could sack him right now, but he doesn't want to.
I give him a 7 because I don't see his future on AC Milan right now to be very, very
I don't
bright.
see it.
So
You know what?
For him, it's time to move on into a different team.
You're okay with that?
I am.
You're
Because
okay?
I want a lot of money. I think the kid has got tremendous amount of talent, and I
agree.
I hope he winds up in a team where they develop his talent and he becomes
like
the
Inter
Italian.
or something, right?
No, not Inter. No Inter, no Juventus. Maybe Napoli. I'll see. I can see him.
He's
on
from Napoli, so
yeah, I can
from
see him on
Naples.
Napoli. I don't know, but not PSG. not
How about
Bayern, not Chelsea.
Listen, the only reason why I give him a 6
Yeah.
is because he's 19 years old. He
Yeah.
had a lot of pressure on him. He was playing in Serie A, so he deserves maybe a 6. But this kid needs to have people around him that they guide him, because he's not being guided by the right people.
I agree.
Good point.
And
Good point.
did you know that he did not show up at the final test for the school? He had a
I know.
final.
I remember.
He had
that,
a
yeah.
final
He
test
didn't
for
do it.
school, and he didn't show up. He went to Ibiza,
With his girlfriend. Yeah.
That doesn't matter though.
But
At
this
that
was
point.
one-
Does
Yeah,
that matter?
matter.
Come
It
on.
matters a
But
lot.
it does.
Why does it matter?
It
Why
does.
does it
It
matter?
does.
That's part of growing up. You're
Yeah.
growing up.
Come
you
on. He
you-
knows what he's doing though.
You
That's the whole
you're
point of
going to
school.
school. You need people around you
If he
to
would have
guide
gone
you.
to school, he would be a little smarter than
He's
that.
19 years
How
old.
many
my
years of school did
God.
Cassano do?
Cassano doesn't need to go to school. Cassano doesn't
So
need
why
to go
does
to school.
Donnarumma
I
need
think
to
he
go to
went to
school?
high school, Cassano.
I don't think
think he went to high
Donnarumma made his career choice. So I don't
Listen.
think the school's needed
Anto,
for him.
pick in the
You
meantime.
need
Keep going.
you need
Mike,
education.
Mike, the Milan fan. What do you think about
Education
Milan
for the
season?
ones that are watching. Education is the most
Number
important
one.
thing.
Before you say, Mike,
Milan.
How'd you feel?
What did I say? Didn't I say
Disappointed?
6 or something? That was horrible. I could have done better with that money. I'm not even joking.
I don't
That
know
was
about that.
horrendous.
What did you give him?
I give him a 5.5.
I give them a 6, I think. Yeah.
And I think I'm being a little bit generous, to be honest.
Jeez.
Hey, you're hard on
Hey,
someone that you want better. I
you
wish
picked-
Milan
how
would be
many times you
Champions League.
picked?
Hey, I just told
No,
told me to
pick! Yeah. You know how to get it bad.
What striker for Milan
Oh,
next
wow.
season? Immobile?
I thought you don't know how to read over here.
This is all about Milan.
Oh, they're not all about. What striker do you think for Milan next season? There's reports today that Immobile is going to be the guy.
Who do you want for next year?
I want
Give me
Cutrone. I want
You're gonna
Cutrone
put it
that is going to be a year older.
You still need a great striker. You need
And,
somebody better than that.
I don't want Belotti. I mean,
How about Immobile?
I don't think Immobile is going to move from Napoli to go to AC Milan.
Lazio.
So, excuse me, from Lazio to AC Milan. I don't know. Let me think.
We'll get back to you.
We'll get back to you.
Let me
A
think.
striker?
But I think it's obvious, very easy. Cassano, no?
Ah.
Cassano, for me, it's not a striker. It's a it's a mezza punta.
Cassano could do it all.
I know he can do it all, but I would put Cassano. I would put
Might
definitely.
be
I would
very
put Cassano right behind the striker.
I don't think Belotti would be that bad of an option. He's not a guarantee, which is bad.
Nah,
But
I
who
don't
else
think-
can they sign? I think that Balotelli might be a good option.
I wish
Between Balotelli, to me, this summer, I would like to see him between Roma and Milan. One of those clubs I think that he could excel at. Maybe Napoli, but not so much. And I don't think that Immobile is good for Milan. Number one, I don't think they could sign him. Number two, he's inflated in price. Number three, I don't think he's going to be worth the price.
I will definitely take
Mike, you have a striker in mind? or
Balotelli.
no?
I will go
May-
for Balotelli.
I was thinking, but this is a far fetch. Maybe Simeone, but it might be too young for
Might be
him.
too young.
Nah.
It's not a bad
I'd
idea.
rather have Cutrone. Maybe give it a try with him.
Who you say?
Cutrone is much better than Simeone.
What is it? What was it?
Oh,
What is
Gaetano!
that?
Go get it! Go get it, Antonio! Are you sure it was that one? What are you trying to pull a fast one out of?
Hey!
What's going on?
Another Cassano question. Can you guys believe it? Everything is about Cassano.
Calm down.
What happens to Atalanta next season? Who cares? Paris, who cares about Paris?
Wait. It says would.
Those questions.
Wait. It says would Antonio like to see Cassano at body if they're promoted?
Yes.
You do what?
I wish.
What is this? Stop Juve from getting?
What team will stop Juve from getting the Scudetto? That's a great question, guys.
Okay. Napoli.
I would say Roma.
Okay, this is one.
Why Inter?
Roma.
This is
Inter or Milan?
Either Roma or Milan. Roma
Inter,
or Milan.
Inter or Milan?
Ray
Nobody else is gonna
Ray
stop.
Dybala season.
Dybala season 7 out of 10.
Seven.
Oh, good. Come
Wait,
on.
Dybala. I would like to see
When
Dybala
they
at
Get the
Real
best
Madrid.
questions.
Wait,
Dybala?
what's wrong with you?
Why would you want him to lose?
Real Madrid.
Real Madrid.
You want me to kick you out of here?
Why do you want
Real
I don't
Madrid.
disrespect
Get out of
Cassano.
Juventus. Get out of Juventus.
best moment of Pirlo career. One or two.
Milan.
Wait, what?
Wait,
No,
a
the
moment.
Best moment of Pirlo's
The
career.
Champions League with AC Milan.
The chip versus Joe Hart.
The World Cup.
The World Cup with
the
Italy.
World Cup. Yeah, that's true.
The
I'm not
Champions
gonna
League
say
with
that.
AC Milan.
Are we just gonna go?
VAR.
Yeah.
Next season is going to be
Let's
better.
not go.
Oh!
Let's not go. Let's go. They'll go back.
That's the one I was
That's what you
looking for.
wanted?
Give it to me.
Yeah.
Give me the ball. Listen, the VAR, I'll tell you what happened. I saw an interview recently.
It's right there.
I saw an interview.
Wait, relax,
Listen, I
relax,
think
relax.
Viali is watching our podcast because Viali, he picked up on what we were saying about the VAR, and he said exactly what I said the other day. Viali technically said that the VAR, he gave him a vote of 7 for the reasons that he said there should be a room. I'm going to quote him. He said, the VAR should be a room in a specified place where you put 5 experts. Not necessarily in Milan or in Rome where the game is being played. You do exactly what they do on the Major League Baseball or they do for the hockey league. You have a room, you put a lot more cameras around, you evaluated the play, and the 5 people on that room or the people that are over there, they making the decision.
He definitely watched the podcast if he said that.
I'm sure he did.
But that is
I'm sure
to a
he did.
T what you said.
It was not exactly like that. I think I saw the same interview. This is not, and this is what they said. They said, why don't we get the referee retired at 45 years old? Why don't we get all these ex-referees
I like that.
They retired?
I like that.
And you put them in a room. They watch. You give them the technology, so better technology, so that they have a lot of angles.
Yep.
And they communicate with the referee, and they see all the action. So it's not just a penalty. It's not just the offside. They'll see if the ball went on a corner kick or not, because
I like that.
they said that the ball went on a corner kick. It was not a corner kick,
and then they went up scoring,
and they scored the goal. He says so they look, and in real time they can tell the referee, listen, you made this call, you might want to go and look at it.
I agree,
because maybe that's not what you saw. And so of course, they're going to do the most
how
important
they're going to communicate
things.
with the referee? They're going to have on
they're going to send a note.
Yeah, of course. So
you can.
Yeah, of course.
They communicate and they say, listen, maybe with the penalties, maybe with with a red card or yellow card.
100%.
Guys, but let's give a vote to VAR this season. What did you think about VAR? Were you happy with the implementation of VAR? Antonio, you're anxious? Go.
Not much. I mean, it could have been done much better to me.
Yeah.
Because given the fact that we already have those technology in other sports, we should have just learned what they do in other sports instead of starting from scratch and guessing around.
Give it a rating.
A vote would be 5.
Wow, I really disagree with you.
That's low.
I have to be
5.
honest. I think that VAR was a massive success this season. I think that also one thing to know. Turned off. Whatever. You want to get the battery? It's okay. We'll keep going. I think that VAR is not the problem. People like to blame the VAR, but also the referees that use VAR. I think the education of that needs to be better. So the referees, when they need to use the VAR, how they use the VAR, why sometimes they use the VAR and they don't use the VAR. But as a whole, VAR is a tool that helps you get the calls right. Maybe it hasn't been 100%, and when you have VAR, you need to get closer to the 100%. But as a whole, we're very lucky to be having VAR in the Serie A. I'm grateful for that. I think it helped out big time. Yes, it made mistakes. Yes, there was a lot of growing pains that came with the VAR. But
Lazio was penalized a lot.
I know. I agree with that. But at the end of the day, I think that VAR, I would give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Listen. Let me just tell you something, okay? This VAR here, given the fact that the technology is being used in not just a very much similar game, football.
Okay, but it's not in Premier League.
It's
not in Champions League. It's not in World Cup.
Listen,
a lot of big leagues don't want it.
What I don't like about VAR is the fact that it's still the referee decides whether he wants to watch the VAR, yes or not. For example, I will give a flag to the coach, Gaetano, exactly the way they do it on football. And if the coach, listen to me, if the coach throws a flag on the field and you say, I want to challenge your decision, you have to just respect the coach's decision. I said, hey, this is a play that I wanted to challenge. Then you go for the review of the play.
I think,
and the referee should not be the one making the decision. It should be the commission of the VAR commission decided. Yes, it is. Not it isn't. I don't know.
I think looking at the overall, I think it was positive. The VAR, especially on the offside. On the offside is almost 100%. They will get the right call because they draw the line, so they'll see whether it's offside or not. On the other aspect, when it's to the discretion of the referee, before you used to blame the referee, now you blame the guy that sends you to see the VAR. So there's still some improvements to be done, but overall, yes, it's much better for the game.
I actually think it's good. I give it a 6. Just because there was a lot of mistakes and stuff, but Serie having finally having something first that other leagues didn't have, and it brought a lot of attention and a lot of eyes. Even though it wasn't the greatest thing, we got to take it in consideration. It's the first time using it, and I'm sure next season it's not going to be anything like this. I'm sure it's going to be greatly improved. So yeah, 6. I think
guys,
6 is
we got to wrap up. So I'm opening just so we get the best ones. Ciro Immobile, will he repeat his season that he had this year next season?
Maybe.
No.
Not 29 goals.
Not 29.
Maybe 20.
Maybe 15.
Oh, he fell. Okay. You guys said
No, who else?
That's what they
No, I say no.
Unless Sarri is the coach. I mean, unless Inzaghi is his coach again and he plays within the same
Probably
system.
will be.
He plays within the same system. I would say maybe at 15 to 20 goals, yeah.
Okay.
Who's the most improved player that you've seen, or the most surprised player that you've seen this
Cutrone.
season? Okay, but you didn't even know
You
who
didn't
he
know
was.
who he was before.
He
how's that most
he
improved?
came from nothing.
Whatever.
From
Gaetano?
nothing. A youth
this is
that
cool.
it was a spectacle. 17 goals, don't forget that.
Wait, what do you
in one season, 17.
All together, right?
Relax,
Gaetano, you have anything?
guys.
It's a tough one, right?
Cutrone in Calabria. I pick up Calabria too.
Calabria.
Yeah, that guy's gonna be playing.
Guy,
The guy's gonna be playing in the
Milankovic,
Italian national team.
Milankovic is amazing.
Which
Like,
one? Milinkovic Savic. Oh yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
man.
That's basically breakout player of the year.
The way he played
Unbelievable.
yesterday, oh my God, what a player!
Torreira too. Torreira, I think we could put
Oh,
there.
Torreira, good point.
Savic is good.
Savic, very
Luis
good.
Alberto too. These are like.
I think a breakout, even Cutrone, will probably be the breakout. Not most improved. Most improved. I mean, how are you not going to give it to Ciro Immobile?
You know who was not the most improved?
Oh, shoot.
Donnarumma.
Definitely.
From
Definitely.
the
He
year
went
before.
backwards. He went backwards.
Yes. From the
He
year
regressed.
before.
He regressed. Yeah. I mean, he made important saves. Don't get me wrong, but
He made a
he
he
cost
made
AC
some
Milan.
technical
The Coppa Italia
mistakes.
was his mistake.
Yeah.
It was totally on him.
he better practice every day and practice hard.
I like that. We have 3 great topics left. Last ones. Mauro Icardi today and Raja Nainggolan were excluded from the World Cup squads.
Who?
Nainggolan and Icardi. Not called
No
up.
way.
Yeah.
Swear to you.
How
No,
ridiculous
I mean,
is that?
Nainggolan, I know that that idiot of coach.
Yeah.
Martinez.
Martinez.
Nainggolan
I mean,
said, maybe I shouldn't. He said, sometimes in life, being yourself actually hurts you.
He retired actually
Yeah,
on
because-
Instagram. He said, "I'm done with the
Yeah, he's
national.
done.
I'm a supporter now." He said after that.
Nainggolan's done.
that's a shame.
Yeah.
Nainggolan
That's really
is
a shame
maestro
because
of
one of the
soccer.
best.
the
He's one of the
guy,
best.
he gives you his heart when he plays. He gives you 110%. I mean, I don't know how you can exclude this
I
guy.
would give him an
from,
Italian passport and keep him
from-
to
from-
play
I
for
agree.
Italy.
He's
I know
good.
Nainggolan, for the Nainggolan part, he's been one of the best midfielders in the Serie for years, consistently. So to not include him to the Belgium national
ridiculous.
team for what they say is because he
Ridiculous.
smokes. Listen, if you smoke and you play like this, you should even be rewarded.
Yeah.
Because look at this. At the end of the day,
Now,
what you do on the field.
How many players did they call up?
23.
23.
23.
No, that's the final.
No, that's the
Oh,
final.
Okay.
Also, guys, Icardi.
But listen, who's Argentina?
They brought
They-
Dybala,
Higuain,
Aguero.
Aguero, Messi, and who's the Papu Gomez out? That's not that crazy. Who's that?
Papu Gomez is a great player.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know,
but
but
you're
cutting
talking
down,
about-
he wasn't expected. Icardi was the big one that was left off because they thought that Icardi was going to get the call at the end.
They got this guy
Listen,
from Argentina,
come on.
Pavon
Our
or
two
something.
top
Boca
goal
Juniors.
scorers, our 2 top goal scorers in Serie are not going to the World Cup. To me, honestly, it's the bias on what happened with Icardi and the national team. They say that the coach doesn't want him because Messi doesn't get along with Icardi. I don't know what it is. There's definitely something there because to not bring Icardi, who's got 29 goals in the Serie A, is
But Marco,
ridiculous.
maybe doesn't fit with the philosophy of Argentina's
a
playing.
goal scorer? A goal scorer?
Yeah, but Icardi is a uomo di area. I don't think he does extremely well. When
But Higuain,
You
Higuain's
should,
the same
you should be
type.
rewarded for
for
having
me,
a
if I
season
pick
like
up
that.
between Higuain and Icardi, I will pick up Icardi because Icardi's got a lot more, power. And
who they called up.
no, definitely Higuain. I will leave him.
But this coach is a little bit also strange. I think that Messi has a lot to say, probably on the team. I don't know.
Why?
But
Why?
that's,
He didn't win anything
strange
for
because
Argentina yet.
The last time he said that Dybala and Messi cannot play
Yeah.
together, so he never called them. What do you mean?
These are the calls. Look at it. He only has four forwards: Dybala, Messi, Higuain, Sergio Aguero. To me, it doesn't look like a lot.
No,
To me, it doesn't look like a lot
especially
at all.
if one of them gets injured.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
Dybala is not really
A center forward.
Neither is
Messi
Messi.
is not really a center forward.
So he's got only one center forward.
No,
which is
Higuain and Aguero.
Aguero
Aguero
is
is a forward. He's not a center forward.
Listen,
He's
Dybala
small.
and Messi, they're going to be stepping on each other's foot. They cover pretty much almost the same amount
Mascherano.
of.
Mascherano hasn't
Mascherano,
played
forget about
one
it.
game.
No, he's
I
in
think he's in
he's
China.
in Qatar or
Oh,
something.
Qatar.
But,
Yes.
but they call him.
They got
'cause-
Mascherano in instead of just keep him.
Nah,
an
but he's a
extra
captain.
player.
No, he's like a leader.
To me, I mean,
Garbage.
this is crazy. I feel bad for Icardi
So do I.
for someone who really did incredible this season.
He really
one of his
deserved it.
best seasons, and nobody was talking about him too until
Listen,
then.
as much as I love Messi, and I do love Messi, I don't want Argentina to win.
How
End
come?
of the story. I don't know.
Balotelli in Nazionale. Are you happy? We saw the call-ups.
Yes. Yes.
You happy?
I'm
Balotelli in
100%.
Nazionale?
Oh,
Not really.
no.
Super Mario deserves it.
He deserves it. He scores. He's in the top 5 league. He scores.
We do not
That's
need good players because they
Tell
well
him, tell him
behaved.
what happened. Tell him
They're
what
well
happened this
behaved.
weekend.
Hey, I was at one of the parties that I was invited yesterday, and one of the kids that approached me, the son of one of my friends, he said, "Do you hear about Balotelli?" Of course, I heard about Balotelli, but I said, he said, "Balotelli is a champion," and he said, "Yeah, but something it's not all together on his head." I said, "We don't need that." I said, "We need champions on the field. Whatever they do outside of the field, I really don't care." Okay, so we need winners on the field, and whoever puts the ball on the field and they score, that's what we need. We don't need good boys. We need bad boys on the field. The guys that they put the ball inside the net. Those are the people that we need.
You made a good point. Tell him what you said about would you rather see this or that?
I'd rather see Balotelli than Belotti.
No. What you said was you'd rather see Balotelli scoring in the World Cup than to not be in the World Cup.
Absolutely.
At all, is what you,
I wanted to see Italy playing on the World Cup and,
wouldn't?
with Balotelli and
Who
not just
wouldn't?
be sitting on the couch and watching a bunch of losers just kicking the ball around.
Balotelli deserved to be called up 100%.
boycott the World Cup. Last question. What will Serie do in the Champions League next season? We've got Juventus, who's incredibly strong. We've got Napoli, who's incredibly strong. And if they did fight in Champions League, I think we could see something. And we've got an Inter who typically
You
has
skipped Roma,
Roma, who's done it. I didn't say skip him, but we have Roma, who did unbelievable in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Deserves so much praise for what Roma
100%.
did. And then we have an Inter who's been typically known to have Champions League DNA. You know, a lot of people saying they like the Milan clubs in Europe. What do you think about Serie A in the Champions League?
I
What
would
can
say
we achieve?
I like to see Roma. I like to see Roma just going all the way almost to the semi or the final.
Okay.
I can see that.
How about overall, as a
How
Serie
overall?
A, what would they represent?
Do you think
in
that
the Serie?
I
Serie A
with four?
say-
This is the first time again with 4 teams. So
I would say we were represented. Yeah, we were represented. It's not a
if we had Milan, it would be better, right?
well.
Can't have everything, right? Antonio?
Maybe next year.
That would be 10 out of 10 season.
Gaetano.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did very well this year, and I think the same thing next year.
We got penalized by
I mean,
couple
Juventus, Juventus
True. True.
is always going to be there. Inter is going to buy some players, so I think they're going to do well.
Let's hope Napoli buys some players.
And
Yeah.
Napoli is a
big
question
question
mark because Sarri is probably going to go, and then they have about 5 or 6 players, which they don't know if he's going to stay or they're going to go. So I mean, if they lose 5-6 players, it's tough. If they can keep that
core.
that team, I mean, with Milik now, you know,
He's good, though.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
good. I like him.
Didn't they go to dinner,
just signed
those guys?
Cavani.
I saw Sarri at the dinner with the De Laurentiis. They were
Yeah.
almost hugging each other.
Yeah.
It was the deal was done already. Already signed a contract from.
No.
The body language was very positive. I'm not sure.
They're going off on a good foot, but it doesn't. I don't think it changes what.
You know what's strange about Napoli? That when De Laurentiis has to talk to Sarri, De Laurentiis will go on TV and talk to the media, and then Sarri will
reply
on the media, and they talking to each other via through the media. That's how they talking to each other. Something that Juventus would never ever do. You talk in the family, you talk in closed doors, and then you both come out and you both say something.
That's true. One last thing, because I know we've been getting this so much. Do you guys think Ancelotti will go to Napoli? And if he did go to Napoli, would it be a good move? I think obviously if he went to Napoli, it would be good, but I cannot see Ancelotti going to Napoli.
Absolutely.
But they're talking about it, right?
Yeah, they're talking about it.
If they said that Ancelotti's in Italy, the reason he's there was not just Pirlo's game, but was to meet with De Laurentiis.
What do you think, Gaetano?
Yeah,
it would be nice.
I think
it would be nice.
For Serie A, it would be great.
But if Ancelotti is going to make a move, Gaetano is going to go to Juventus.
We have
Milan.
Oh, Milan, I wish.
We have, if you could have Ancelotti in Serie A and Allegri in Serie A.
I agree.
Sarri probably.
All we need is Mourinho, and that's it.
Mourinho, keep
Gattuso.
him over there. Keep him there.
Gattuso. Oh yeah, your boy Mourinho. You lost. He lost this weekend. Everybody loved the
I'm so
video.
sorry to hear that.
That you gave him. You gave him the chocolate. Peter was upset. I gotta tell you, Peter was not happy.
For what?
He was not happy with you because you gave. You said Mourinho, this is your trophy that you're gonna win, and it was a piece of chocolate.
Oh yeah. Oh boy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I remember that.
So Peter's not happy with you.
But listen,
he said you're making fun
I
of
was
Mourinho.
happy for Conte. Conte played much better than him, and that's it. End of the story. They didn't deserve to win, Mourinho. Come on.
But you were a little bit happy that Mourinho lost.
Of course.
Okay, what do you have to do?
Hey guys, don't forget to rate podcast. Make sure you get a 5. All right, and see you next week.
Yes, guys, this hat we're giving it away. Anyone rate the podcast, subscribe, you get this Inter hat.
And put a nice comment.
I know that you want this Inter hat so bad.
You can keep that.
But I'm sorry, unfortunately.
Just give it away.
Guys, last thing.
This was the last round of the Serie A too.
That's what I'm saying. Guys, I'm very happy.
Geez.
I want to say what we did with Serie A in the podcast. I'm happy that we created this podcast. I'm happy that we all get to talk around at the table every week at the podcast. I remember the first time that we told you guys, let's create a podcast. Antonio, I don't even think you realize that we're recording the episodes for the first 5 weeks.
I don't even realize still right now. I don't care.
And then my dad, I just want to get this. My dad said, yeah, but what are we going to talk about? I was like, we're talking about the Serie A. And he's like, how long? I was like, maybe we go 25, 30 minutes. You're like, how the hell are we going to talk for 20 minutes?
Who's going to listen for us for that long?
We've been talking for an hour and 16 minutes right now. So I want to thank you guys. You make a lot of people happy with this podcast. People love you.
People watch it with their families.
Listen, I want everybody to know that we don't prepare anything. We don't take any notes. We don't just...
Except for this guy.
Michael and I take notes too.
He's the only maestro.
I think you're the only one who doesn't take anything.
We don't need to take notes.
If you only talk about Cassano,
I don't need to take notes. So I think I enjoy doing the podcast. I hope everybody else enjoy. And I wish everybody else would just... write us up, just send us an email or text us and let us know what you want us to cover, right?
Yeah, that's what we did. Yeah,
okay, so
we're gonna make it more interactive.
So let's not get too depressed over the the World Cup and we'll see.
We're gonna still do stuff, right?
All right, definitely. Let's do
about the transfer news. We could talk about Cassano a little bit.
Absolutely, Greece, maybe, right? No,
I don't know.
No vacation.
No vacation.
If
we go on vacation, we got to do a vacation as a family, as a podcast family.
And maybe we can go to some of the games.
We go to Bari.
Yeah,
let's go to Greece too. Come on. What's wrong with you guys?
Hey, does Greece has a soccer championship going on? Or
it ended. Olympiacos didn't win it actually for the first time.
I'm so sorry to hear that. I thought I didn't know where soccer was in Greece.
Oh, jeez.
All right,
we'll go for a nice vacation there though.
So guys, thank you. Good luck and let's hope. Actually, we're going to be watching Italy playing again for the qualification of the European Cups.
Yeah.
But the friendly. We're going to watch the friendlies. And we're going to see what Mancini's going to do.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, guys. As always, thank you for watching. Rate the podcast, and we'll talk to you soon. Ciao, ragazzi.